Hello and welcome to Arsenal Above All. Arsenal 4, Crystal Palace 1. Justice for Patrick Vieira. The Gunners end the month of March at the top of the table, 8 points clear and 20 points clear of the trophy dodgers, would you believe? Team that was going to win the league this year, or at least challenge. Anyway, all we have to do now is sit and wait and pray that our boys come back unscathed from international duty. We're looking at you, Gareth Southgate. You need to give the Starboy some rest. But anyway, to pick the bones from today's win, I'm joined by my good man, Bez Kelmendi. How you doing, my friend?
Good, thanks, man.
Great stuff. Great to have you here. I know you've been enjoying the F1 this afternoon with a few cocktails in celebration, obviously, of the win and everything else. So it's good to see you again. I know you're a busy man, especially during the week and stuff. So thanks for joining me, Bez. And so let's get into it. So after obviously the disappointment on Thursday against Sporting Lisbon and exiting European competition again, we went into a really again another big game for Arsenal. I think Melvin Marks, who watches the show and is a good supporter of the show, tweets every week. This is the biggest game since Arsenal's last biggest game, or something to that effect. Yeah, of all the games that we've had since post World Cup, obviously we've had big games, obviously against United, and obviously we played Tottenham and stuff. But this was a game, obviously, that I kind of was a bit worried about, mainly because of Palace's capability, what they can do on the break, and the record they've had against us in the past, especially at the Emirates. And yeah, we had a couple of scares in the first half, especially the break that they had when Zaha hit the post. And Ramsdale made that save. But Bez, what was your thoughts on the start? The way we obviously had to show up basically after the disappointment of Thursday, which obviously was only 72 hours ago. When they kicked off. But what was your thoughts on just the mentality and the way we approached the start of that game?
I think the way they had the tempo from the moment the game kicked off was amazing to see how quick it was, just out of the blocks. Just straight away, it was just all attack, pass. And whoever's got the ball, who's more comfortable, they were not afraid to shoot, which was amazing to see again. Despite the midweek, disappointment, again, it's a bit of a disappointment because I would love to see some of the French players, play a bit more for as long as they could. But sadly, again, it's not meant to be. But that's life now. We focus on the league and get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Yeah, we were on the front foot, and as you said, which was interesting, was the fact that we seemed to be taking a lot of pot shots. Especially ødegaard had a good chance, which the keeper got a hand to. I mean, could have probably put it to the corners a little bit, but as you said, the fact that we had that massive disappointment, and especially someone like Martinelli, a young kid, and he spoke really well about it afterwards, but for him to come back and put in a performance like he did, and obviously the finish as well, more great work on the right hand side with Ben White and Saka. But again, what about we talk about Saka being a star boy, but this kid we kind of forget that the numbers that he has at the moment. But that finish, Bez, I mean, he went on a little slump, didn't he, after the World Cup when he came back a little bit. But he's definitely picked it up, and I think he's maybe buzzing off the fact that he's got his mate back, Jesus, which we'll talk about obviously a bit later. But what more can you say about this guy? We talk about obviously Saka, but Martinelli has just been, as an American phrase, he's come up clutch a few times, hasn't he?
He's come up trumps, exactly, because I feel like credit was due, because I know by the time he came after World Cup and we just signed as well on trust side, and of course they gave him a bit of competition, but at least you see that now Arteta uses both when he can, at least in the same I would say same position, but for me I see they're very similar players, which is great for us on the left hand side, so it kind of relieves less pressure on Saka's build up play from the right as well. So really, I'm pleased to see that. And plus, he's delivered, goals, which is 13, if I'm correct. And still, he's a very young lad as well to show this desire, and have a little bit disappointed, little slump, shall we say, and then to come back again, keep scoring, keep going forward. not giving up. Again, playing for the shirt is amazing to see at such a young age.
Yeah, 13 goals, 2 assists, I believe. Again, there's a guy on the other side of North London who hasn't scored yet in the Premier League, and you know, the less said about him, the better. But again, it's that right hand side again. I mean, I think what's happened with Trossard is, I think before he sort of came along, Trossard, we were getting to a point where we're a little bit more predictable down the right hand side. And obviously, when it works like it did today with White and Saka, it's fantastic. But when teams become a little bit privy to it and they blocked, you know, doubled up on Saka as such, you kind of want more to be, you know, more stuff to be created down the left hand side, just so we're a bit more unpredictable. And I think that's definitely happened with Trossard coming in. Just because of what he's done. Again, he's got a couple more assists today. Sorry. And then obviously the link up for that goal, for Saka's first goal. Again, it was just a brilliant combination play between the two. And you think, you know, Ben White, I mean, he's obviously not in that England squad not for ability. That's definitely the case. It's definitely not in that squad because of, I suppose, fallout with the coaching staff or the assistant. But it's kind of, we kind of got a bit of a touch there, really, don't you think? Based on that, he's not actually being called up because he can just focus, you know, recovering, because obviously we worried about his fitness. But what more can you say, you know, about Ben White, you know, in terms of what he's done this season?
Again, as you say, for me, Ben White justifying today why is a different player, as a defensive-minded player. He can, when he goes forward, he's very clever. How he makes those runs, and this just comes out of nowhere. It reminds me a bit of like I would say in defense. I'm trying to think. Okay, not certain Ashley Cole, because obviously we have the memories how he left us in a bad note. But it reminds me a little bit of Lauren, how Lauren used to drift off in those wings and just come out of nowhere and like, hello, I'll make a goal happen, or I'll make a little, you know, dangerous habit of coming from the defensive line and just play. He's like a cannon, you know, throwing a shell and just saying to the opposing team, look, surprise, you know, I'm here to basically disrupt your defense, or shall I say your midfield. And today it didn't happen once, it happened twice, and I'm surprised still to this day. What does Gareth Southgate see on other players? And it doesn't say nothing on Ben White. He offers so much versatility in that, shall we say, in that right hand side, if I'm correct. He's like him and Saka, the way they link up is just beautiful.
It's the passes he makes to Saka. He passes to them. Ben White makes these passes, and Saka had to have his body shape in the particular shape. And I think Arteta's, I think there's some footage of him doing some coaching to some up and coming managers or amateur managers, and or it might have been something to do with his getting his coaching badge. And I think he's coaching on that emphasis about the way players' body position is to receive the ball. Because if he's receiving the ball, if Saka is receiving the ball with his body shape at that angle, defenders aren't able to sort of clatter through the back of him because he's already on half turn and he's already away from them. And those two passes he's made, obviously one for Martinelli's, which led to Martinelli's goal, and then the other one which led to his goal. I think Saka said about, you know, he enjoys playing on the right hand side with Ødegaard and Ben White, and he doesn't want to give away the secrets of how they perform so well. But I'm sure lots of teams and video analysis guys are looking at that. But you know, long may it continue. But it's also good that for the third goal, you know, going into that, how that sort of came about. Again, it's like left hand side with Trossard and Xhaka, and it's just great to see. Obviously, Xhaka score again, Trossard get involved in an assist again. It's just great that we've got that option, and we're creating chances down both sides. So that there's that predictability that was there for elements in this second part of the season. But now with that Trossard, with that sort of that joker, that sort of wild card, it's definitely made a massive difference. And again, I don't know what his number of goals is, but it's vital that Xhaka's kind of find his scoring boots again, isn't it, Bez? Especially with what's to come.
Well, it's beautiful because I can see late as well. He's got this now. Understand, I think, Xhaka, that when he receives the ball, I think he's got the ability now. He's not afraid to shoot anymore from any distance.
Yeah.
he's a bit of like a fox in the box, and he comes out now out of nowhere. Like even today's goal, like, and I love celebration to his daughter as well.
Yeah, that was good.
It just makes me think how the boy, 3 years ago, I call him boy, but he's a bit younger than me. But basically, he's come such a long way, and I'm happy to see him basically still play for this club, considering what he's been through. Even as a football fan, not just an Arsenal fan, but to see him how far he's come in those 3 years is amazing turnaround. And I think there was an interview you got asked as well, who do you thank the most for turning your career on? And he just simply says, there's one man, and he even says it, and the way he says it makes me like have goosebumps. And he simply says, Mikel Arteta. But I just think the way Arteta just look after him straight away as soon as he walked in through those doors, and to see the player now deliver in these moments is amazing to see.
Yeah, it is. He's even Arteta's even had Partey playing right back towards the end. So I don't know what the hell that guy is doing. He's a genius for him to pull that off. Because I think I was in the chat thinking he's taking off on White. Who's playing right back? Is he going to do the three at the back or anything? It's like, no, the guy said is it James and Jackson? Oh, he's playing Partey. It's like, okay, all right, let's see that one coming. But obviously slight negative was the conceding of the goal from another set piece. Because I really wanted a clean sheet, obviously with the goal difference, and obviously getting another goal, that would have been great. But just keep a clean sheet. Mainly for Ramsdale's confidence, because we know how he beats himself up when a goal goes in, and you saw his reaction to the goal. But is that a worry, Bez? I think 5 of the last 10 goals you can see, I think, in the league have been, or 5 of the last 10 games have been set piece goals or corners, or we've let in, or from free kicks.
I won't use the word worried there, but the fact is how we were like leading, I think 3-0 when we're cruising. The word to use cruising now, because at 3-0 you see Arsenal with a different team over cruising by a big margin. Yeah, and then I think he got into the team's head a little bit. We got a bit carried away, so we said 3-0 up. And I was like, you know what? At least you showed them, look, okay, with the back to 3-1, we'll make another one. And from that moment onwards, you can see the team just deployed, let's just do the old routine as well. We kind of like almost parked the bus the last 10 minutes from what I saw, because he went so quickly, and I couldn't keep up, because I told you I was watching on my phone, because sadly the game wasn't broadcasting, and then so I was like, what's happening here? Yeah,
crazy.
Just great to see again the team's determination, and again, hunger is just another level. Considering we had we mentioned just a few minutes ago about the disappointment we had in midweek, which is never nice. But again, it just shows how we can, bounce back quite well, and without too much, hassle in this league that's clearly, is going a bit wayward with these. I don't know, should I say VAR again has been a bit, because I'm sure that goal clearly was a bit hit and miss for me, the way we conceded and it wasn't checked properly. I mean, that would go given. It was
it looked like it might come off his hand, or whether it hit his hand first or hit his knee and then onto his hand. But it seemed like every goal was being checked by VAR today, even though there were clear goals. The last one, which was obviously Starboy, Saka's second goal, that looked like it could have been possibly ruled off, because Jesus was in view of the keeper, sort of thing. So he could have maybe obstructed him, but that was given, obviously. And it was good. I think the pleasing fact was it was Tierney that got the assist, and the celebrations afterwards, they seemed to make an effort to try and get him involved, and he seems a bit socially awkward, Tierney, because I think there was a video in the week before the Lisbon game, and they were doing some sort of game at the end of training, and I think Saka and was up against someone else. I don't know if it was someone coaching, and Saka lost, but when it happened, everyone was jumping up and down and being really sort of, laughing their heads off. And Tierney was just on the outside looking in a little bit, he was a bit awkward. And, maybe that's just how he is, he's a shy guy. But it was great that he got the assist. But I think what about his performance, Bezzy? I mean, he came on and he was just on it straight away, which is a good sign, especially, with the international break. He's going to be away on the international break as well. But no, a lot of people are already talking about next season, Champions League, squad depth. I personally think he's a good person to have around the squad, especially with the demand it's going to have. I know he doesn't offer the same thing as Zinchenko, but what about you, Bez? Would you, if we got a good offer for him, would you want him to? Would you be happy to see him go as long as you invested it, or would you like to keep him as part of the squad? Because I think he's still a top. He's a top professional, and I think that's why all the players went to him, because they obviously realised that this guy was the first name on his team sheet last season, and ever since he came, he's always given 100%. So I think they're just trying to keep him involved a little bit. But what do you think about that situation?
The situation is a bit, so shall we say this, a bit awkward, because I do see him. I guess he was the main lad before Zinchenko came along. I remember, I think 2019-20, and that season, which I went to a few lovely home games, he was very much on his level. He like very high, shall I say. He delivered low crosses like now Zinchenko does. He's not the same as Zinchenko, of course. Zinchenko's more mobile and he plays everywhere, a bit versatile.
Yeah.
I just think he needs to realize too that he's a squad player. He's not just your average, backup player, because you say there's games that will need him too going forward. Hopefully, in his mind doesn't get disturbed by a little club saying to him, "Yeah, sure, we'll take you on board. Just leave when you're ready." But I feel at the same time he needs to realize too that we kind of nurtured him well since he joined from Celtic, even though the league there is very different, as you know. I just feel like he needs to understand that, look, we do need you, and I hope you understand that you need us, because today, again, as you say, he came on second half, but at the same time, again, he felt that he's almost back to his old self, that he's enjoying the game more. Now he seems to be now, from us in the game slightly today, he seems a bit similar to Zinchenko's reading of the game, that he drops forward when he needs to, he goes back a bit more when he needs to. So that's the way I think he needs to understand that, look, when Zinchenko's not playing, or Zinchenko's the saving having those break or time off, he needs to be ready as well, because otherwise a player like Tierney will be fine, especially a backup to Zinchenko as well. In all fairness, it will be hard to find as well, because we need these players, the players who play for the shirt. And I remember since day one, Tierney enjoyed playing for the Arsenal, and sadly, Zinchenko was offered a bit more dynamic going forward, but he's offered more, I don't know how to say, that period, I think, is 2019 to till at least 2021. Again, we were going for a rough patch, and he was the only man, there who had that desire, and he kept going forward, and he was driving that defense. And then you need to realize that we still need him when the name gets called out.
Yeah,
I feel like he needs to realize too that we simply can't let you go.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't play on Thursday night. To be honest, I thought he would have started that one, when especially up against Edwards, because you needed probably more of a defender against him. And there was an incident towards the end of this game where, was it Olise that broke through? It looked like he was going to go through and goal, but obviously Tierney turned on the afterburners, and he stopped that attack pretty well, and he could have been used in a certain. There was a situation where Edwards was like that, and he had a shot, and Ramsdale saved it with his face. So I was surprised that he didn't play on Thursday, but that's done and dusted. But yeah, I would like him to stay. I know some people think because of the levels that Zinchenko brings to the team, with his able to play inverted and everything, and I think that's obviously where the way everyone's going to go. He's sort of like a bit of a relic almost, but I would like him to stay because I think you need that if you're going to be playing Champions League in rotation. Well, it's a good shout out to Rob Holding coming in, Bez, like with Doty, because he was pretty outstanding. Stuck to Zaha like glue, apart from that chance where he got away. And just his hair. I know both of us. He's got more hair than both of us combined, especially me. But no, again, just brilliant. Again, he's someone that you're happy for him to come in to do a job. For the minimum amount of games, you want it to do 2-3 games, and then you want Saliba back. You want him back as soon as you can. But all credit to him. Played really well. Partey, Ben White, Saka. Standouts for me. What about yourself? Was there anyone else that you had praise for today?
I would say when all the players you mentioned, yeah, pretty much all did well. And I mean, it's good that I'm glad that Arteta as well made the substitute at the right time. When he noticed the game was slowly like closing down and sort of running down, and he noticed that, look, get rid of the players. He doesn't need to play anymore. But if I'm correct as well, did Saka play the whole 90 minutes?
He came off. He came
Oh.
off towards the end, I believe. I think.
As much I was eager in him, please get hat trick, but I was at least he protected him because we'll need him. We need him more than England need him at this current situation. Because England, knowing England right now, I mean, I don't want him to get back and he'll be a bit off key, off key, because I want Saka to do well. And again, he's our leading goal scorer in such a young age, even as well.
Yeah.
Protect him. I don't mean I feel like saying this to even the FA as well. You need to protect this Starboy. You protect other players around. You don't protect. Okay, no respect, shall I say. You don't protect the likes of Rashford. You don't protect Saka. They don't even protect our players, the Arsenal players. I see as well. This FA, as they call themselves now, again, I've seen late as well. When it comes to the Arsenal players, they never ever put us as in first down the line. No. It's always saying, "Oh, United players there, Chelsea players there, the Liverpool ones." I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Liverpool don't have many English players in their own squad, and no one said nothing about that. When it was us a few years ago, well, sure. Also, I'm not a single player from England. I'm like, well, that's football for you. It's an international league now. You have players from every given country, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's kind of mad, and you just hope that he comes back with no injuries. We've got two tricky ones, Ukraine and Italy, who England are going to play against. Going to be tough games. Not sort of walks in the park like San Marino or something like that. But then again, even those games are a bit tough because some of those guys are amateurs and they don't even know how to tackle properly and things like that. But talking on international break, it's kind of going to be interesting to see how the likes of the players who are going to be at home. So obviously that's the three Brazilians are going to be obviously at London Coley. Smith Rowe, Eddie's obviously going to be recuperating from his injury. Ben White, obviously, is going to be back there. So 3 or 4 fundamentals of the team are going to be back at London Colney. Hopefully, especially Jesus and Martinelli can, work that connection that they had before his injury, and obviously Saliba. So hopefully, this international break has come as a great time where we can hope that when we do play Leeds on the 1st, that he's back fit. Apparently, Arteta has said he won't know till tomorrow what the longevity of his injury will be. Him and Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu was there today, and apparently Saliba was there today. Tomiyasu was was using crutches again, like he was on Thursday night. Saliba, obviously, some people pictured him at a local Tesco's. He looked like he was all right, getting his meal deal. He's probably interesting to know what he got, but he was there. Didn't look any discomfort. Obviously, it's a picture, but so hopefully it'll be similar to the Partey situation where we were all stressing out, thinking, oh, he's going to be out for ages, and he came back after 10 days. So hopefully this will work out in our favour, Bez. If not, do we just stick with Rob Holding, or would you like to see Kivior come in? And but obviously Kivior plays on the left hand side. But would you just stick with what we've done today, but with a mind on the Liverpool game, which is really the big test of one of the ones that we've got left of the remaining games?
In all respect to Kivior, I think the league is too early for him to be thrown around now, and too early and too soon, because this league will come and bite him pretty quick, as we saw in his so-called debut against Sporting Lisbon. I'm not saying he won't adapt, because obviously most players, will take time, and Rome is not built in a day. But for the love of God, if I was Arteta, please, if you can, and if the same Rob Holding that we saw today can play the way he played today, just pick Rob. Sadly, as much as I love Kivior so far, he seems to be, adapting to the league, adapting to the language. From I don't know, he's his English is not the greatest, and in this league, if you don't speak English to your own teammates, you're screwed, and we don't want that to happen. In this running that we need everyone, going up and gin each other up.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is, I think even Rob Howe is a good example to see as well, that he doesn't play many games, but when we need him, at best of times, he delivers. And today you saw that with that frock he had and that famous hairband. I saw, a nice looking hairband, shall we say. He looked like his old self. I was like, great, man. Because, okay, fine, you don't play much, but well done you. You control that Palace, unit pretty well, I mean, him and, if I'm correct, him and Zaha had a few runnings as well alongside him. And I'm like, he looks all right. Because still, for a guy who's not played much this season, he looks pretty well to understand that, look, he means business, I say. He means that, look, I'm here to stand up where I'm called upon. I'm ready, But for the thing with him, he doesn't let it phase him. That's what I like about Rob Holden. And I think the same could be Kieran Tierney. Do the same thing. For as long as you are playing for this team and you're around the team, don't be a disruption. Like somebody that plays in the past, the mindset is somewhere else. Oh, I'm done playing with this team. As certain Van Persie, when he handed in a certain statement at the time that, look, I'm done playing, almost to say I'm done playing with the club and I wish to leave the Arsenal. I mean, come on now, that's not the right way to go about it. We look after you all years. He was deeply injured, as we know, in his first few years. And then when we needed the most, we saw our direct rival and they won the league the very next year. It's like, ouch,
Yeah.
It hurt a bit, that one. That one hurt me the most, the way Van Persie left. Fine, Ashley Cole again, it was all about the money, as we know. Fine fabric, but the way Van Persie Saga was kind of handled by the whole club. I won't blame Wenger there, but the whole club, from the board people. Yeah. I don't sound like Conte, but come on now. When we're the Bandit Club, that was a bit embarrassing, the way we let him go.
Yeah, I think now, we definitely do pay. We're paying the right people now, the right money. I think we had to get rid of obviously a lot of dead wood and pay people to get them out of the club. But obviously Martinelli's contract, Saka's contract, and hopefully Saliba's contract. But talking about Rob Holding and obviously how good he looks and everything, it reminds me of a quote that I heard, which I think it was Dion Sanders that said it once. It said, "If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good." So that's probably something that's on Rob Holding's mirror, probably there with when he's putting his Alice band back and everything, and putting conditioner in and everything and stuff like that. But yeah, we can't obviously finish without talking about the Starboy and just look at some of his numbers. And if you look at that, he's in good company. Obviously, the man you mentioned before, Van Persie, with his numbers. And you look at Henry's one in 2002, 2003, 24 goals and 20 assists. I think that's a record that Kevin De Bruyne equaled a couple of seasons ago. But the numbers he has already with 10 games to go, he's just ridiculously special. And there's been games where he's been a little bit off and quiet, and we were worried about his fitness and everything and his tiredness, Bez. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what we say. We touch on him every podcast, but look at numbers like that. We have to lock down that contract as soon as. It just needs to announce it. Hurry up.
He's just a player at a different level. As I told you, I remember seeing him I keep saying again, and this is just me hearing about him and Smith Rowe. And Smith Rowe, know about the injuries, sadly, kind of disrupted his growth, shall we say. But the way Saka has carried his growth in the last, shall we say, year at least is amazing. Not that he can make goals happen, but man, he can finish, let's say, a boring, let's say, interchange between a defensive midfielder or a defensive player, and yet make a goal out of nothing. Like today, the way he linked up with Ben White, I think if I'm correct, with the second goal, he just literally just kicked in the net, and the goalkeeper was like, "Oh, is it?" I'm thinking, yeah, because we're a different team now. We we play for each other. Yes, we play for the fans, we play for the badge. But the way is, they link with each other so well. And Saka is like, oh, sorry, man, yeah, I'll just kick it in. You know, I don't know why, but it doesn't get mentioned much even by the pundits as well. How he's not scared to shoot from any distance as well. He's just literally just for it. He's like, you know what? I'll just whip it in. We'll be, front of the foot or side foot or who knows, maybe back heel, and they will see a back heel from him, and that'll be hilarious. But the way he's so humble, but you can imagine at 21, and he still is doing these stats as we just saw there. It's just, I just had to see close to just think, I'm still speaking at such a young age. The world's in his shoulders, you know.
Yeah, here's another one. He's become the youngest Arsenal player to score 10 plus goals and provide 10 plus assists in a single Premier League season, breaking Fabregas's record in the 09-10 season, in which he was ridiculous in that season. Fabregas, that's for a scorer. Again, the numbers, as James would like me to say, the numbers just immense, and a super special player that we have on our hands, and we just need to tie him down. And if it's going to be so special if he does manages to we do manage to do it and win the league. What kind of legacy he's already left, and he's already, he's 22 years old. It's crazy, but. Yeah, I mean, I just finishing up on the Leeds. Obviously, that's our next game, and obviously we've got a bit of a wait for that. But personally, I think Arteta. A lot of people are saying, well, he needs to be back for Leeds. I might have said that myself, but when you look at it, he's probably got 3 weeks to hopefully get Saliba fit, because that's when we play Liverpool on the 9th of April. That's 3 weeks from now. Again, you were saying before, just play Rob Holding, just play him again. I think he'd be all right against Leeds. He's a Bolton lad, I believe, and he'll be all right in that circumstance because it's at home. After the international break, if it was away from home, maybe you might be a bit concerned. But I think he will be all right for that one. But I would be worried if we had to play them at Anfield with the likes of Núñez if he's fit. With Rob Holding at the back, even though he never really lets us down, but maybe we've got 3 weeks really to hopefully to get Saliba back and well, and the fact that he's going to be at London Colney, if they can do some of the magic they've done on Jesus, he should be all right. Don't you think, Bez?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, considering all things considered, again, as you say, we'll play Liverpool against Leeds. But make sure you look after Saliba's recovery stage. Hopefully there's no serious as his first looked. Okay, Tomiyasu, I understand, is going maybe a bit longer. But at the same time, I do want, in this week, I know I'm going to repeat this a lot, but I do see one player I know in our squad, and Fabio Vieira, sorry, but again, that guy for a footballer, he doesn't look that physical, not, let's say, intimidating compared to Trossard. The Trossard, for me, he looks immense again. He looks like he's been playing for the club a long time. Even I was watching different links because, as you know, how they to watch football. Trossard looks like a complete Arsenal player, as if he's been playing for years, man.
Yeah.
He literally looks like the business. And the fact is, again, I'm not attacking any Arsenal fan base around us or anyone else around it, but how on earth you question him at 27 and to say such things as if he's not being good enough? I mean, for God's sake. The guy's grown a lot in this league. He's seen it all. And then he's now delivering where we need. Now all those haters are going quiet because they see that they're being, kept to one side to say, look, let the man be, he's doing all the talking on the pitch. Even today again, okay, he didn't get a goal, sadly. He got 1 assist. But again, is the way he's so effective, that final third, even the way the tempo was, as I said in the first few minutes of the show, he's got this link-up play with Martinelli. Like he literally, I think he directs Martinelli to go. And when Martinelli is in the ball, he tells him where to go. It's like they have a great understanding. It's like that me and you say something, I straight away bounce back what you said, or basically agree what you say. They do that on the pitch. It's great to see.
Yeah.
It's like when Smith Rowe and Saka first started. Those two were very similar too, but sadly Smith Rowe's again growth has been a bit. Kind of feel like he's been a bit, stopped, or shall I say, blocked because how the unfortunate injury happened.
Yeah.
But it's great that to see him Smith Rowe back on the pitch, even though he's not yet his old self. But at the end, it's great to see him back, playing. At least that look, there's a title running now. It's not just a running for a Champions League place, but now it's a serious business. That means we need to just have everyone, ready for the next 10 cup finals, shall we say,
Yep, for the running, it's proper the running, like I'm saying, this is when you see the next 6 fixtures that are going across at the bottom, there's only 4 more after that. That's it. There's no FA Cup, European game. That's it, so this is like, once we get back to it, this is serious business. And I think, again, ESR being, at London Colony another 2 weeks, with with some of the first team players, just kick him on a bit, get him some more, training minutes, in his legs. It'd be interesting to see if the club put a match on behind closed doors, probably against Brentford again, like they tend to do. But also touching on Trossard as well. He's just a guy that's a cultured player. He's got the experience, and it'll be just interesting to see him go play at Anfield again, which we already know what he did up there, when he played up there. He got a hat-trick. I don't think they're going to be particularly happy to see him again. They probably thought, oh, we're not going to see him again at Anfield. But yeah, he's coming, hopefully, in 3 weeks, pencil that in. But yeah, so we've got lots to look forward to. It's been an amazing season, and long may it continue. 10 more cup finals, as you said, Bez. So that'll be it for tonight. Thanks for listening, Bez. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. You can go and have a couple more cocktails before you retire tonight. Give you permission. Give you permission to celebrate the win today. And so thanks for everyone watching, listening. Thanks for following, subscribing if you like it. Please share it with fellow-minded gooners, and we'll maybe back next week with just a little bit of a chat about just how things have been going, and state of play and what have you. And obviously then look forward to the return of football the week after, when the title charge is proper on, ticking off the game. So we all, myself, Bez, the rest of the Arsenal Above All crew, Neil, James, Daniel, Steve, Glenn Glazer, we'll be having some sort of carnival come May 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, June 1st, June 2nd. We just be on a mad one. We'll be missing. It will be like I think it'd be like Avengers Endgame. At the end when all the portals are opening up, and then all these people are walking through. There'll just be gooners coming from all over, like coming from Caribbean and Norway, all over the place. It's going to be mental in London if we manage to do it. But let's hope that's the case. But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back soon. All that's left to say is I've been Michael Harris. He's been Bez. Yeah, I could do it now. Look how smooth that was. You see how smooth that was? Boom. He's Bez Kelmendi. Before I was all over the place. Look at that. I'll keep doing it. Bez Kelmendi. See what I mean? So that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. Come on, you gunners. 10 more games. Let's do it.